Hey everyone, we're back with our question and answer video, our 8th one. And wanted to just jump right in and say sorry for taking so long for coming back, but we've been dealing with some stuff. So Samantha Dennis asked about service academics. And you know, there's really no guarantee that any kind of educational institution is going to look at your homeschool transcript and consider it official. It's very subjective. So I can't say that every service academy is going to accept those. They may require something more like a portfolio or certain test scores, maybe letters of recommendations. There's no way for me to know, but all I can share with you is the experience that we had with our 2 children that have joined the military. My daughter Serena was in DO school and she got a Navy scholarship and they paid for her medical school, and that was a huge blessing. And obviously that was graduate level, and so we found out that military does accept DOs and view them the same as MDs. So that was a blessing because she wasn't sure initially what a DO program really was when she was first starting out. And then promotions came with that and bonuses as well. And then my son, Seth, just got back from basic training. He's in the Alabama National Guard. And so because they were already graduated, their transcripts were very official from universities. So we've never had the experience of having someone looking at their high school transcripts. And in our case, they're getting their high school transcripts done by the age of 12. So obviously you can't join the military till at least you're 17 with your parents' permission. So would a 17-year-old be able to go to service academy at 17? I just don't know how that would be viewed. And if they took the GED, is that looked upon favorably? I really have no idea. That would be something that you would have to talk to individually with admissions people, wherever you're looking at. But once they're in graduate school, realize they're looking at their undergraduate transcripts and their graduate transcripts. So they would be on an equal level if you wanted to join the military. Now, service academies obviously are you know, freshman, sophomore, junior year, and our kids would be much younger, so I have no experience with that. She also asked about at what age do we recommend an independent style of learning for our kids? And that was always my goal, as young as possible, to get them to read independently, and that's where that independent style of learning begins. So as young as my son Heath, reading at 4, and then some of my other ones reading completely independently by age 8. So there was a huge variance there of when my kids were actually reading independently, because they're all different as yours are. And when you are able to just hand them books to read independently, that's starting that. That's where they're taking responsibility for reading a certain amount of time per day, and where you can learn to trust them to do their reading. And that could be very young. And from that, then they can do their dictation and their writing and writing little book reports. And so at a very young age, again, if they can be trusted, they can be very independent. And of course, if you have sneaky little ones that want to go upstairs and just play Legos or watch videos on their iPad, then you might need them to be working independently, but you have to trust and verify. So they may have to be in the room right next to you or sitting next to you on the sofa, wherever you are, taking care of babies or toddlers. So it really depends on the child and their maturity level, and if they're, you know, passive aggressive, or if they're very parent pleasing kids. so that will vary. We had a question from She Gathers. She wanted to know that at what math level do we start our kids? And honestly, we teach our toddlers to start to count their fingers and their toes and their jelly beans and their M&Ms. And so as soon as any child takes interest in preschool, that's where we begin. And as far as like math book work, usually our girls were they had better fine motor skills and wanted to do workbooks and do math problems. Our boys were more hands-on. You know, they might want to count beads or something, or count Legos. But as soon as the boys would catch up with their fine motor skills and wanting to write better and more clearly, then that's when we go to workbooks. But as soon as they start to learn their math facts, we try to introduce the next thing, which is using a calculator, from addition to, you know, adding 3-4 digits, carrying the 1, borrowing, and we quickly move through to long division and then showing them how to use a calculator. And as soon as they can do what we would say is maybe pre-algebra, and this kind of answers someone else's question, once they can do some basic pre-algebra, we start introducing the ACT review books and the SAT review books. And from there, and I know I've said it before, that's where we find the holes in what they've haven't gotten yet. And we start filling in things, and we use Khan Academy, YouTube videos, any kind of online tutorials that they can watch over and over to fill in the holes in any kind of math concepts that we've skipped or that they're having trouble on without frustrating them. And if they ever are frustrated, even to the point of tears, we will circle back. You know, if it's too stressful right now or they're not getting the concept, it's okay to set it aside, move on to something else, and then come back and address it again so that it's not a stressful time, and we certainly don't want them to say, I hate math. My husband and I think math is fun, and we want them to see how cool really math is and how it ties into all areas of science, and that it's everywhere in the world, and everything that they see in nature. And so that's, we want to share that love for them share it with them without them being frustrated. Melissa T. Asked about test anxiety and on what subjects do we test them and how often. So to be honest, unless you live in a state where certain testing is required, we personally don't feel that you really need it. It's more for the parents to know where the kids are. Sometimes kids like, you know, spelling tests every Friday, and we used to do that and give them rewards if they do well. We found that we just didn't need that. When we lived in Texas, we did do testing when our kids were like, you know, kindergarten, first and second grade, because it was required at the time in that state. I don't know what the laws are now. But we don't put a lot of weight into testing when they're very young. I have a lot of test anxiety myself, and I think I project that onto my kids. So I don't really want them to take a lot of tests because I get nervous. But the ACT and the SAT is their first big exam, and I can talk about more of that again in another video, that preparing them at home and practicing at home is the best way to reduce test anxiety. And by seeing the scores before you send them to a university helps a lot too, because then you know that it's not a make it or break it. So keep posting your comments and sharing our videos, and send us your questions, and we'll do more very soon. Thank you.